ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel, welcome back to our live stream, and welcome to the UEFA Champions League draw, where Scotland will have one and one only representative this season, that representative being Celtic Football Club. Yes, we head into the Champions League this season with a lot of, I don't know, I like usually going in with a great sense of optimism, but I think this season there's probably more pessimism from the majority of supporters, but I want to try and avoid all of the pessimism and negativity for today. Let's just try and enjoy the draw this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just try and have a bit of a laugh with it, a bit of fun, and look to see what Celtic get. By the end of this stream, who knows, I might be miserable. We might get Manchester City, we might get Real Madrid, we might get Milan, we might get a group of death, but you know, there's every chance we get Feyenoord and Porto and Red Star Belgrade, something that presents us with the most winnable set of games. Who knows, we'll see come the end of it. We've got a long time until the draw actually commences, because you know what these draws are like. It's very drawn out, it's very lengthy. And Celtic probably won't be drawn out the pot until, I don't know, 10 to 6 or something like that. So, welcome, hello, join me for a bit of chat, a bit of conversation about Celtic and what's going on right now, about the Champions League as a competition this season, and just ultimately for a bit of a laugh, as we do every year. You know what it's like by now. If you haven't tuned into these before, then get ready for an hour of absolute nonsense, drivel, and just, all that stuff. And we'll get the live updates as they go along. Hello to everybody, and thank you already to Hail for the donation, £2 saying this will be fun. Yeah, I'm nervous, but I'm excited, as I am every year. It's like there's Henrik. It's starting the stream with Henrik Larsson, by the way. The stream has started, just for a bit of context. The draw programme is now underway. It is 5 o'clock. It's taking place in Monaco this year. The programme itself has started, but we'll get all the build up. Pot 1 will probably commence being drawn in, I'd say, about 20 minutes time maybe, and then when that happens, it usually starts to flow through. But they have all the wee awards and stuff as well. I think this is where they give out some of the UEFA competition awards for last season: best goalkeeper, best defender, player of the year, and all that jazz. I believe they still do that, so it will be lengthy, but the programme itself has started. They're currently walking up the red carpet. They're not even in the building yet, so we have got a bit of time. But I'm going to try and go through a lot of your comments and have a bit of a conversation, a bit of a laugh, a bit of a chat, and all of that nonsense. So yeah, I'm going to get up a couple of things to talk about in a second. Just had to look at my sources. I'm getting insider scoop. I'm not actually. Yeah. Let's go. Let's head over to some of the news that's broke over the past few hours then, shall we? Let's get open a couple of things. Let's start with this, and then I'm going to go and talk to you guys. Let's start with, by the way, thank you to Sean, who's just came in for the donation, saying, good morning from Sydney. We are due some luck in Europe. I hope we draw the greatness side from the 2008 SPL. I cringe when fans want the big boys. I don't want anything to do with the big boys. I don't want your glamour ties. I don't care about seeing Erling Haaland or anybody like that. I want us to get games that are the most winnable. And the thing is, you know, none of these games are necessarily winnable. You know, they're not games that are guaranteed wins for Celtic. You're still facing the best of the best sides in European club football. It's difficult, but absolutely avoid the big boys. I want all the easy ones. And thank you to WB Warrior as well for the £2 saying Feyenoord, Porto and Copenhagen. Ryan, what do you think? I would be very happy with that. I'll tell you that for a fact. Anyway, let's start with some of the news today. Celtic have completed the signing and made it official of Nat Phillips on loan from Liverpool. It's on a 5-month loan deal until January 2024. The statement says Celtic have today signed Nat Phillips on loan from Liverpool until January 2024. The 26-year-old graduated from the Liverpool Academy and has gone on to make 29 appearances for the Liverpool first team, scoring 1 goal. Talking about his loan deals, Nat Phillips commented saying, I'm really excited. When I heard about the interest, it was one that got me excited. There were a few other options that didn't quite make me feel the same as this one did, so I was really keen to get it over the line, and I'm delighted to be here now. He also went on to talk about at some point the the people who have also encouraged them on this move, some of the guys at Liverpool, Virgil van Dijk, Andy Robertson, I think that's in one of his interviews on the Celtic TV YouTube channel. But Brendan Rodgers also chipped in with his comments saying, we're delighted to bring Nat to Celtic, we're looking forward to working with him in the months ahead. It has been well documented that it's an area of the team we need to look at in the short term due to a number of injuries we have experienced, and so we're pleased that Nat will provide the defensive support in the squad. Thank you, by the way, to Aaron McIntyre, 20 quid. That's very generous, saying congrats on 40k. Been here since the FIFA 17 career mode days. Hail, hail, Shagger. Thank you. Thank you for sticking with me for that long. That's a long time. So, yeah, not a year-long loan deal for Nat Phillips. He is only going to be here until January. However, if you read into any of the articles that were published yesterday, that will be reassessed in January as to whether or not we will extend the loan deal. That might end up being something that we look at to keep him here till the end of the season. I think that, there's a good chance that we could see someone coming in here, it's Nat Phillips coming in here, and really getting a grip in the team and maybe making it hard to move him out. Who knows? In 6 months' time, we might be having a conversation of how we want to keep him around here, and maybe look at keeping him as one of the first names in the team sheet. We don't know. We're just going to have to evaluate that alongside Celtic's evaluation, and then we will know as to whether or not Nat Phillips is going to be the guy. But it's good. It's short-term thinking. As we said, we only need this. This wouldn't have happened without the injuries. Nat Phillips is in a very lucky position being here at Celtic because, I have great faith in him. I'm looking forward to him. I think he's one of the best options we could have got out there as the kind of player that we need right now. But I think that, if Navrosky and Cameron Carter-Vickers didn't get injured for 2 months, this wouldn't have even happened. So I see people complaining about how it's only a 5-month loan deal, that it's only till January or whatever, but it wouldn't have happened in the first place if they never got injured. So it's a stopgap. It's there to help us fill that void until they're back from injury, and I'm absolutely okay with that. I've not actually listened to the saxophone yet. My draw is running, but I'm hopefully going to get through everything before the draw starts that I want to get through and then talk to you guys. But thank you for the donation again. And very quickly, let's jump over the other statement that we didn't talk about last night, but is now official, that Celtic have signed Luis Palma on a 5-year contract. He's arrived finally after about a week of waiting, and we knew that it was happening. But we are delighted to announce him. He's here on a 5-year contract. We've heard that it's a £3.5 to £4 million pounds deal, and he is also someone who's very, very happy. It's a special day for me and an honour to be announced as a Celtic player. I can't wait to be part of this great club, and I know all about it's one of the great names in world football. Brendan Rodgers also very pleased as well, as you would expect, but someone who now raises a conversation as to whether or not he'll be in the team on Sunday. Will he come in and face Rangers straight from the off? Maybe he'll be brought on later on in the game. This is a good one, and it'll be poetic if he comes into the fold on Sunday and scores against Rangers, considering the deep interest they had in Luis Palma. That was someone who they really wanted. Some of them will pretend that they didn't want him, but they did. There was full-blown videos, articles, and all the rest of it about him. They were excited. He's now a Celtic player. I hope that he comes in and he scores on Sunday. That would be fantastic. But Luis Palma and Nat Phillips are both official. They're both here. And that means that we can get on with watching and talking about the Champions League draw. Yeah. So, wow, are we all excited? We are getting, I think, I seen something that, I think this is just a clip to talk about some players. I've seen Jude Bellingham, I'm now seeing Barea. Let's talk to you guys. Let's get a bit of conversation about the Champions League, about anything else, about some of the new signings. Look, so we've got another donation. It's Ian, my man. Nice to see. Can't wait to see who Celtic get. And the tune, I forgot, Newcastle, man. Yeah, we'll see who Newcastle gets. Well, interesting for them, of course. First time being back in the Champions League since the early 2000s. Massive for them. Let's have a quick... Now, this is the annoying thing. Usually every year, right, and this is what I need to try and sort out. Usually every year, if you watch these streams, you'll know that there's usually a feature on the UEFA website that allows me to show you the draw live without actually giving you footage of the draw itself. I can't play the draw for you, but I think once the draw commences, we should be pretty much good to go in the sense that it should start showing it on screen. Right, so anyway, let's have a quick reminder of the teams who are in the Champions League, and then I'll talk to you guys and fill the gap for a little bit. Let me make sure I'm opening the right tab. Of course, I can't play any of the footage for you. I can't play the draw. Every year, people come into this stream and go, are you going to show us the draw? Are you going to show us the draw? Hold on, I'm just reading something. Right, so in pot one, we're going to have Manchester City, Sevilla, Barcelona, Napoli, Bayern, Paris Saint-Germain, Benfica, and Dutch champions Feyenoord. Pot two, some big boys in there: Real Madrid, Manchester United, Inter, Dortmund, Atletico Madrid, Leipzig, Porto, and Arsenal. And in pot three, the last of the sides that we can face in this competition: Shakhtar, Red Bull Salzburg, Milan, Braga, PSV, who of course knocked out Rangers last night, Lazio, Crvena Zvezda, aka Red Star Belgrade, and Copenhagen. Then in pot four, there are some sides, of course, young boys: Real Sociedad, Galatasaray, Newcastle, Union Berlin, Antwerp, Lens, and us. That is the draws that are available. So yesterday, a lot of people pointed out, and I felt stupid for doing it. A lot of people pointed out in my video yesterday. I actually made a mistake. I said our ideal draw, and my ideal draw would have been Feyenoord, Porto, and Lens. I don't know how, I must have just had a lapse of concentration when I was making the graphics, and I put Lens in our group. We can't draw Lens. And it wasn't until after I uploaded it and I started seeing people commenting that I realised I made that mistake. So if you did watch yesterday's video, apologies. I didn't mean to put Lens in our ideal group. We can't play them. Instead, I think out of all these teams in pot three, I probably would want Crvena Zvezda or Copenhagen maybe. But I just can see already us playing Copenhagen and El Yunusi scoring. Like, it's basically written in the stars, isn't it? So I kind of... PSV did give out a spanking to Rangers last night, but I wouldn't say no. I think the ones that I'd like to avoid the most in pot three would probably be Milan and Lazio. I think if you can avoid any of those two in pot three, because Lazio are a much better side than they were when we faced them in the Europa League a few years back. I think if you can avoid those two, I think that I'm confident against. I know Salzburg slapped us about a few years ago, but once again, different team now. And I feel like we should have confidence playing them at Celtic Park or such. Shakhtar, we were unlucky against last year. I would still remember leaving the stadium in Poland very, very disappointed. So I think Lazio and Milan, if we can avoid them, and I still want Feyenoord, and I still want Porto, I think, from pot two, but I wouldn't mind maybe Arsenal. And I think that Dortmund on their day can definitely slip up and we can beat them. But yeah, that's the teams that we're dealing with. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you want, what you don't want. And when the draw commences, hopefully I'll be able to have it on screen for you. Obviously not the video footage itself of said draw, but hopefully we can get the actual graphic moving and such, and showing you who's getting drawn into each pot. Right, let's see then. Let's get a few bits of conversation. Yeah, absolutely, Albert. The easiest, put easiest in quotation marks. There's no easy. Like, I feel this is. I don't know if there's any Feyenoord fans watching. I doubt there is. But I keep saying, I want Feyenoord. It's not out of disrespect to Feyenoord. Great side, fantastic last season. I remember watching a couple of the games in the Eredivisie last year, and they were good. And I think that they would probably end up beating Celtic, to be quite honest. But I feel like out of all the teams, I've got to just stand up and be honest and say you'd rather Feyenoord to Manchester City or Barcelona or Bayern Munich. That's just straight facts. The draw will probably, well, they're bringing out Eric Abidal on stage now. I don't know if he is going to commence the pot one teams. Maybe he is, but Eric Abidal is coming out on stage. So who knows? It might be starting in the next few minutes. It's usually wrapped up by 6 o'clock. It's usually wrapped up within the hour. So I think they will probably start drawing the teams very, very soon. If we get Benfica, will the player we might sign on loan play against in the Champions League? Now, that all comes down to what the clubs agree. There is no written law that says they can or can't. It comes down to what the clubs agree on. If Benfica turn around and say, yeah, he can play against us, then we're fine. But we won't find that out until he's officially a Celtic player. So there's no point in speculating right now. Thank you, by the way, to Midnight Society for the $10. Thank you. Saying, do you think that Kyogo will score in the Champions League? Well, I hope so. That's the one thing that he's missing from his Celtic career right now is goals in the Champions League. Granted, he only had a few attempts at it last season, but I would like to see him get those goals and really solidify himself as the best since Larsson. That would be very ideal. So yeah, let's see. It's realistically Celtic are competing for that third place. Depending on the group, we might be able to be ambitious and say, oh, they're second up for grabs, but we'll see. Yeah, I know it always does my head in how long the draw actually lasts. I mean, I guess it makes sense for the people who are in attendance. Like the people who have travelled to Monaco are probably wanting a bit more than just a 5-minute draw. I can understand it from the live point of view, but for us at home, my God, we don't care about all this. I don't care what Eric Abidal has to say. I just want to see who Celtic get in the Champions League. So we'll see. We can't get Brian. If you went off my video yesterday, it's my bad. Sorry, we can't get Lens. Lens are in pop 4. We can't get him. But I spouted that nonsense yesterday because I wasn't thinking. No, I don't. Did Kyogo score actually? He actually might have. No, I can't even remember. It was the game at Parkhead, wasn't it? Who did score that day? The chat will probably tell me before I'm going to go and look because it's annoying me now. Celtic versus Shakhtar at Celtic Park. No, it was Giacomakis. It was Giacomakis, and then it was an own goal in the first leg. It was Giacomakis. Yeah, I didn't think he had scored a Champions League goal. I knew I was right. Let's see. If we get a left back and Bernardo, what do you think of the window out of 10? I'd probably give it like a solid 8 if we get those two players. I think it'd be a solid 8. I know a lot of people are still a little bit underwhelmed, but we've spent nearly 30 million quid now, and if we get a left back, that would be great. I think what brings it down is the fact that we maybe didn't get the goalkeeper. Okay, I think the draw is actually about to start. I think the draw is about to commence. However, as we all know, pot 1 really doesn't matter. Pot 1 doesn't matter at all right now because it just kind of puts the first teams in. So it doesn't make a big difference. However, what I am hoping for is I'm hoping that the UEFA website itself gives me a graphic. There he is! It's Claudio! Dilly ding, dilly dong, man. He's there. Here it's not actually him, but he looks a spitting image of him. Every year I crack the same joke. If you've watched it year by year, then you know. Also, thank you to all 800 viewers right now. There he is, Giorgio Marchetti. Thank you to the plus 800 who are currently watching live. If you haven't already, please make sure to like and subscribe. We have been flying recently. We are flying past the 40k mark as well. Now we're on to 40.2. So let's yeah, pot 1 is about to commence, so they're just explaining the rules. That'll probably take about 10 minutes itself. I've just got to send a text and then that's me. So, hold on. Right, okay. Some very exciting news to come. Also, Haksabanovic away, yeah? Haksabanovic away. Right, well, as I said, pot 1 doesn't really mean too much. But, it's nice to kind of see where the spread of teams are going to be. What letters to look out for, what ones you want to avoid. I mean, the big one you want to avoid is Manchester City, isn't it? You want to, as a Man United fan, do you fancy them, Ryan? From what perspective? Them in the competition or us playing them? I think Celtic could have a game against United. I really do. I don't think United have started this season great. I would still like to avoid them, but I wouldn't cry about them. I wouldn't cry about them at all. In terms of their chances of the competition, no, they're way off it. They're not going to win the European Cup anytime soon. Thank you, Blake, by the way. I love that. Thank you. Appreciate it. Just back from Starbucks in Hamilton. Ralston came in looking like he was limping. Also with a guy that looked like a goalkeeper, though. God, we're spreading the rumours on stream now. I hope there's no limping, though. We can't be going with another injury, especially at right back when we only have the two. So the draw is live. For anybody who is wondering and watching and doesn't really have the draw up anything yet, you can watch it in a number of ways. I believe TNT Sport are putting it on their actual television channel if you've got a Sky or Virgin cable box. It's also being live streamed on the TNT Sports YouTube channel, and it's also on UEFA.com. I'm watching on UEFA.com. So I'm going to, like, when it gets to, like, Celtic getting drawn, I'm not going to look at the chat because I don't want spoilers. But up until then, I've got a lot of time. Don't want any English team, says Thomas. Really, I don't usually, apart from City, we can only get United and Arsenal, and I'd rather avoid them. But I wouldn't cry about it. I wouldn't cry about getting any of those two. I think they're beatable. I think both of them have started the season pretty average. And I think we could, against English opposition, their arrogance comes in the way a little bit, and then I think that we always turn it up a notch to be like, what we can compete with this Premier League mob, So I don't usually mind getting English teams, but I feel like in years gone by, there's always been a standout English team that you kind of want. I feel like, Spurs have been in there a few years in recent times. I'm like, I think we could beat Spurs, and there's just been a few teams in and out that have been weak at times. I think this year they're all fairly strong. Arsenal went really well last season. United won the cup and got to a final. And yeah, it depends how they treat the game, really. But aye. Sorry, I just got a funny text. Oh God, I'm nervous, lads. I'm nervous. I am nervous. I just don't want us to get started. I'm also like trying to. Yeah, Mark said he would take United. See, I wouldn't cry about United. I'd rather avoid them, but I wouldn't cry about it. I'm also trying to. I know the rules by now, Lubo. God, I know. How, also, I've said this a couple of times on the channel. This is the last ever Champions League group stage format like this. Of course, next year we move on to that Swiss format, which I'm very excited for. I actually think it will be better. Guarantees you Europe after Christmas. You play 2 games after the Christmas break, or the Christmas time. I'm really looking forward to the Swiss format next year. I think it'll be great. I really am. The fact that you don't play the same teams twice, I love that. I think it means that, like, if when you draw like Man City or a team like this, this is technically the last draw. I don't have a clue how they work it next year in terms of how they like draw the teams. Like, I don't know how they pick who you're playing, because I don't think it's a traditional draw out the hat sort of thing. We need to wait and see that. But this is the last group stage. Next year it's one big league table. You play 8 games against 8 different opponents. 2 of the games come in January / February. So it's very different next year. And I like that because, like, if you got, the point I was trying to make is, last year we got Real Madrid, right? And you're like, well, that's 6 points away already. You know what I mean? That's 6 points gone. You're not going to beat them either home or away. You can be honest and realistic about it. It's just not going to happen. But now, if you get Real Madrid, you've only got to play them once. And because it's like I think it's 36 teams, I think Celtic will obviously be down the bottom end of the like quality first going in. You look at the teams and go, right, there's a good amount better than Celtic. But there'll be a lot of teams in there that you're looking at probably like, well, I hope that Celtic can win that. I hope Celtic can beat these teams who are maybe predicted to finish down the bottom end of the league table. So, yeah, honestly, I think it will. I think it will be more beneficial for Celtic. It gives us more games as well in terms of, we'll have 4 games at Celtic Park. 4 games away from home. So that gives you an extra game to try and use the home atmosphere, the home advantage. I really do think that next year's will be much more beneficial. And I'm really, really excited. I think, and financially, yeah, of course, Mark. More games, more gate money, more television time. Financially, more money as well. Listen, football is becoming a rich man's game, isn't it? It's becoming. Oh, the draw's started. I've finally got it. So Group A has been drawn, and that's Bayern Munich. So I can actually bring it up on screen for you now. If I quickly switch over to right, nice, right. I'm going to zoom out. I'll get it on screen for you, lads. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. It's coming. It's coming for you. I just need to go and share the screen. So when it gets towards Celtic, I'm going to stop looking at the chat, but I am going to open up that for you so that you can see. There you go. I know it's a bit small, but there's not much I can do about it. Look at the layout of the website. That doesn't exactly help me. But the draw has actually started now. So we've got Bayern into pot A. I'd like to avoid that. We've got Sevilla in pot B. Wouldn't mind it. That's one of the teams I'd rather take. Napoli, I'd probably like to avoid because they're playing some very tasty football. I know they went under a managerial change and stuff like that, but they obviously still have Oshiman around, Kvaratskhelia around. They still have a very, very good team. So I would like to avoid Napoli, perhaps. Let's see what else. Benfica into pot D. So pot D I wouldn't mind. I'd take Benfica out of the big boys. I think Bayern, City, PSG, and Barca are the ones that I'd like to avoid the most. They're like the 4 that I'd like to avoid. I've seen a few people earlier saying they take Barcelona right about now, but you still got to remember, they're champions of Spain. They still have a very talented squad. They've just signed the likes of Ilkay Gundogan, who is a fantastic player. They have a good squad, and a squad that would turn over Celtic, to be honest. So I'd still like to avoid them. Group E, though, we've got Feyenoord. So that's the one you're looking for. That's the one that you want to get. And the good thing is now, with, of course, Rangers not being involved in the Champions League, every group should be open for us in terms of, like, Rangers can't take a spot in an easy group. So if Feyenoord were to draw, say, I don't know, if Feyenoord were to draw Porto next, and it was Feyenoord and Porto, you know, there was always the chance that Rangers could have went into that pot and into that group, and we wouldn't have been able to get it because you can't draw 2 Scottish sides. However, now you're looking at, you know, a free space for Celtic wherever they want to go. So I see people saying they need like a telescope to see, but if I go any further, you won't see all the you know, this is pretty much I think this is as far as I can go for now. That's as far as I can go. I'm sorry, I can't do anything about it, really. I wish I could, but I can't do anything about it, sadly. It's just the layout of the website. So yeah, I think that's all the pot 1 sides out now, and straight away, you know, you obviously want to avoid Manchester City, Bayern Munich, PSG, who might not even have Mbappe following this Champions League draw. They might not have him, but still. Let's see. Right. How powerful are my specs? Quite. It's blurry. Once again, I can't do much. It's like if I could fix it, I would fix it. I think that okay, right. Is this done yet? Right. I'm going to be well behind, by the way, because I'm watching on UEFA.com. So I'm going to be well behind. I wish that I could zoom it in for you lads, but I can't. You've got a commentary. You know what's happening. You're here to see my reaction to what Celtic are getting. But aye, that's all the pot 1 sides done and dusted. They have been given their groups. Barcelona are into Group H. The actual stream itself is like so far behind for me. I'm going to try and refresh it, but you should still be able to see the group on the screen. Okay, yeah, we're on a pot 2 now. Yeah, okay, I'm getting a bit more up to date now, a bit up to time. Let's see. Our PSG that without Neymar, I know Mbappe's still there, but I imagine gets injured. Mbappe might be off, but you still PSG once again just a very strong side. Like you can take Mbappe and take Neymar out that team, and yeah, of course, there's still, you know, there's a bit of a better chance, but it's still just I'd still rather avoid them. Why is Joe Cole here? Did Joe Cole ever win the Champions League? I don't think Joe Cole ever did he? Well, wait, actually, was he still with Chelsea in 2012? Actually, might have been. Right, okay, pot 2 sides are underway. So this is where it starts to get serious, lads. So this is where it starts to get a little bit nervy, because now we're going to know what's going to happen and who's going to be paired together. So Borussia Dortmund, they're going to be in with Sevilla, I believe. I think they're in with Sevilla. No, they're not. They're not in with Sevilla. They can be given E, F, G, or H. They won't be in with Sevilla. So, I don't know. Put Dortmund and Man City would be a horror show of a group, wouldn't it? That would be a horror show. But, aye. I think that my stream and such is like so far behind, folks. So I'm like, I don't know if I'd be better going onto YouTube maybe. But I don't want to miss anything. I'm going to quickly jump on YouTube and see if it's any further ahead, because I might be quicker. I might be quicker watching it on the YouTube stream. Nope, the YouTube stream is further behind. Right, I'm sticking to UEFA.com. What groups can Rangers get? I believe their draw is tomorrow. Right, Dortmund and PSG. Wow. Right. Avoid. Big avoid. Big avoid. I do not want Dortmund and PSG. Listen, no thank you. Don't want that. I'm also trying, I think I mentioned this point earlier, I'm trying to be a little bit selfish. I want to get to some away trips again this year. And I'm not going to bother if it's games I'm not going to get a ticket for. Arsenal are now at Arsenal with Bayern Munich. Remember that a few years ago, by the way. Arsenal and Bayern, that's a group that I'd probably want to have. Oh, no, wait, so they don't just put them in automatically, they draw. Have they changed that? Or has it been like that for a while? Because, remember back in the day, it was like, okay, they're out, that's them in pot A, unless they couldn't go into pot A. So they don't do that anymore, right? Okay. Maybe I'm just being daft. But Arsenal are the next team out the pot. They can be drawn in either group A, B, C, or D. So Arsenal will be with Napoli, Bayern, Sevilla, or Benfica. Arsenal, for the Arsenal fans who may or may not be watching, Arsenal fan TV is probably going nuts at the moment. They're in with Sevilla. I tell you what, right now, wouldn't mind that. I would take that. Sevilla and Arsenal, not the worst. There definitely is going to be worse combinations come the end of the pot 2 draw. There's absolutely going to be worse draws than that. So, right now, out of PSG and Dortmund and then Sevilla and Arsenal, I think I'd definitely be wanting Sevilla and Arsenal myself. Next team out is Atletico Madrid. They are next out. Which is very interesting because obviously Atletico, a side who have a history with Celtic, to say the least. If you go back to decades ago, right enough, but they have a bit of a Feyenoord and Atletico. Right. Okay. Right. Feyenoord and Atletico. Not the worst. Not the worst. I think that's the one I'm favouring as it currently stands, but we are obviously still waiting on quite a bit to come. Let's see, any questions, anything to keep us going. Next team out is Manchester United, so I'm actually interested, of course, to see what Manchester United get from this draw. I'm actually interested to see. Let's see, Manchester United, they are going up against, let's see, come on, give us somebody. As long as Madrid aren't in D. Let's see, Man United and nope, I'm out. None of that. That's Man United getting 2 tankins. Unlucky, Eric. Avoid a big avoid. Yeah, Bayern Munich and Manchester United. That's a big one. That's 2 big daddies right there. That's 2 giants of the game. So that's a good tie. It's one that I don't want Celtic to be anywhere near. Right enough. So not A and not F for me right now. Next team out. Let's get the pronunciation ready, ladies and gents. It's Rasenballsport Leipzig. They're out next. Of course, last season, RB Leipzig, they're showing the clip. Why? Out of all the games they could have shown, they've shown them beating us. At Celtic Park. Couldn't have picked any other game that Leipzig played in the competition last year. No, they picked the game against Celtic, didn't they? Leipzig can be given, I think, 4 possible combinations here. Leipzig are a team, once again, I wouldn't mind getting. I don't think it would be too bad getting RB Leipzig. Still a very good side on. A lot of good young players coming through the ranks at RB Leipzig right now. But they're in... Avoid. Man City, Leipzig, bye. Nope. Why have I got the fear? That's what we're getting. We're getting Man City, Leipzig. I feel it. I feel it in my testicles. I feel it down south. We're getting Man City, Leipzig. I can just feel it. I don't want to jinx it, but I can fucking feel it. Right, let's see. What's up next? What is up next? So far, what he's fancying, lads? Internazionale, Inter Milan. They're out next, and I think that they can. Yep, they're out straight into Group D. It's the only group that they could be put into. So Benfica and Inter. What we're thinking about that? What we're thinking about Benfica and Inter? I think that's one that's probably not too bad. But right now, for me, it's got to be B or E, and I would be very happy with that. I would love B or E. Next out is Porto, who are drawn with Barcelona. Once again, not horrendous. Porto and Barca. Could be worse than that, which means the final one's going to be what? Napoli and Real Madrid, isn't it? Oh, God almighty. Napoli and Real Madrid. Jesus, avoid. Big avoid. Big, dirty, stinking avoid. None of that, please. No thanks. Thank you. I don't want that one. So right now, the groups are shaping up quite tasty. Oh my god. This is gonna be sick to watch. My god. My god. That's a bit of the fear. There's always, like, there's always a couple. I mean, like, I see people saying get revenge on Real. Absolutely not. I don't think we're extracting revenge against them anytime soon. John, it's all right for some, because tomorrow I guess you don't have to worry about the draw. Yeah, Diddy draw, isn't it? Diddy team competition, Diddy league, sir. What is going to be next then? Teams in Pot C. Yeah, I'm getting the fear, lads. I don't know about yous, but that Group C and Group G are eyeing. Like, every time I turn round, that's the first thing I see. That is the first thing I see. Somebody saying hope for Group D. D, so you want Group D? Well, listen, Group D, I think if I was to rank them right now, very quickly, if I was to try and rank them, in order of what I'd want, it'd be E, B, D, H, F, A, C, G. That is in order. I'm not going to run through that again. I don't even know why I'd done that. It's not as if you were going to memorise my exact order of what I'd like to the least like. But this is it now. We're getting closer because we're on to pot 3, which means Celtic are a pot away from finding out their destiny in the Champions League this season. Somebody's saying they want F. Wow. You want F, Lewis? Are you mad? PSG and Dortmund? No thanks. No thank you. I don't want that. Right, pot 3 is starting and is underway. God, I wish that we were just like the same as we were in 67 and we could like look at all these teams and be like, we'll beat them. Shakhtar is out first. That's one that I would like to get in terms of going to the game. They can be given any group here, so that's interesting enough. I would love to go and because they're playing in Hamburg this year, and I think that would be great. But I don't know what group they're going to get put into. Let's see. Shakhtar is a team that I'd really, really like if we just to go for the away trip, because we'd probably get the ticket. I don't imagine they'll sell out Hamburg Stadium with the situation and such. They'll obviously take a good amount of fans, but let's see. Shakhtar are currently being given their pot and they're into Group H. Once again, H doesn't look all that bad. Like, all things considered, if Celtic were given Group H, I probably wouldn't cry about it. I'd probably be like, okay, I'd rather one of the other ones. But right now, H isn't shaping up to be the worst thing. Thank you, by the way, because we're over 1,000 viewers on this stream because we're getting ever closer. Right, it's Crvena Zvezda, a.k.a. Red Star Belgrade, who are out next in this draw. I'm getting warm up here. I don't know if it's the nerves or just the general heat, but I need to get the aircon on soon, man. Oh, biling. Nerves are getting to me. Let's see. Crvena Zvezda. Who are they going to be put in with? They are also possible, or eligible, I should say, for every group that is left. So everything bar Group H. So we'll see what's being said for Shakhtar. Sorry, not Shakhtar, for Red Star. They're put in Group G. Now, the only positive now about Group G is if we did, knowing our luck, get put into Group G, if we did get put in there, at least there's a team that you could battle for third place. However, I do not fancy the absolute shit show that would be the Manchester City game. So, no thanks. But it could be worse. It could be worse. Let's see. Next team out in the draw is PSV. Good luck, lads. Hope you get a nice draw. Who knows? Maybe we'll see you. Maybe we'll draw you. I was in Eindhoven in January. Lovely people. Lovely. Loved Celtic. Hated Rangers. And they got their revenge last night with a fantastic 5-1 win to extract revenge on their exit from the competition last year. But PSV are now out of the pots, and they are going to be put in a group with Sevilla, Arsenal. I'd take Sevilla, Arsenal, PSV. I would take. That's not bad. That is not bad at all. I would take that. I mean, PSV would probably end up doing what they've done to Rangers to us. But listen, Sevilla, Arsenal and PSV, that could certainly be worse. But good luck, PSV, in the competition. Out next is Milan, who obviously can't be put in Group C. They can't be put in Group D either. They can only be put in Groups E and F, Milan. So E and B are the ones we've been eyeing up. I hope they go into F. If they go into F, that would be nice. Milan are drawn out and they are going to go into F. Come on, Milan. You know you want to. Go into Group F. Into F. Come on. Yes, they're into F. Which is not good, actually, because if we get F now, we're gobbled. PSG, Borussia Dortmund and Milan are in Group F together. That's a group right there. That's a group, ladies and gents. I'm seeing people saying they take B. Blake not so keen on B. Right, no B or E, maybe G. Listen, people looking at B with feet, I wouldn't mind B. Out of all of them anyway, like they're one of the ones that I would probably take. Out next is Salzburg, who I think can go into any of the last groups. They can't go into E, but they can go into groups A, C, and D, Salzburg. So, if Salzburg went into D here, I think they have. Salzburg have went into D. That's a decent group. Not decent in the sense that, but I wouldn't mind that. This is the thing now, right? There's so many of these groups that I'm looking at, and I'm like, do you know what? Honestly, wouldn't mind them at all. There is some decent groups, but there's a couple. There's just like 2 of them that you just don't want to be anywhere near. And you know for a fact we're going to end up in one of those 2 bloody groups. We're gonna. It's just fact of life. I've done this stream a million times. I know how the story goes. Back when we were in the Europa League, we ended up getting stuck with what bloody Lazio and it was some. There's Lazio just out the hat actually. Who are they getting put in with? They can't go in Group C. They're into Group E. So Feyenoord, Atletico, and Lazio. Once again, a group that I wouldn't mind too much. I wouldn't mind that too much, but we are close now. By the way, there's only 2 more teams to be drawn from pot 3, 2 more sides, and then we're on to us. So the nerves are now building. Copenhagen out next, but they are getting put into 2 groups that I want to be nowhere near. I don't want A, I don't want C, and I don't know what one they're getting put into quite yet. So. Oh my god. I'm trying to type something quick so I can turn my phone off and not get any spoilers. Right, so Copenhagen have went into Group A, as we know, and it's time. It's time, ladies and gentlemen. We are now ready to move on to pot 4 in a moment. Oh, right. I don't want A. I don't mind the look of B. I don't want C. I don't mind D. I don't mind E. I don't want F. I don't want G. And H is just somewhere in a kind of middle ground sort of place that I'm not going to scream at if we get it, but once again I think it would be tough because there's no point in sitting here saying like, oh, we'll definitely beat Shakhtar. We didn't beat them last year in 2 attempts. Even though we played well, especially away from home, we didn't. So there's no point in sitting here saying like, oh, we'll definitely beat Shakhtar. There's no guarantee of that. So H is pretty low down as well. I really want B or E. That's what I want. B, E, or D. That's the 3. B, E, and D. That's the ones I want. But this is it. We're moving on to pot 4. Well, I'm not going to look at the chat, not to be rude. I'm just going to try and avoid... Well, actually, I think we've got a wee minute or 2 because they go through all the teams. I'm not going to look at the chat through this stage of the draw just so I don't get spoilers and I can actually like react properly. Not that I'm not going to clip it and put it in TikTok, but I don't want to be like, oh, there's my draw. Okay, and then it comes up here and I've missed it. So I will close the chat in a second on my screen, but yeah, you should be able to see who goes where here. People are saying scroll down, okay, but then you know you kind of miss out who's. Can I just ever so slightly fit like Bayern and Sevilla in there. Right, you should be able to see everybody. You should be. Oh, actually, that's not the right screen. I'm getting nervous. I will just scroll just ever so slightly so that you can see. Hopefully every slot. You should be able to see everybody. Obviously, Shakhtar don't have Mudryk this year. There's Josip Juranovic scoring for Union Berlin in the Europa League last season. So, right, just I'm nervous now. This is it, Potful. I'm going to close the chat. Here we go. Oh, I'm nervous. I am nervous. Right, let's get the volume up. I want to hear every last passing bit of agony as this happens. The Scottish champions, of course, Celtic. I can see it already. Group C or Group G or Group A is probably calling their name. Do you know what? A, when I think about it, it might not be the worst because, like Copenhagen, we could compete for third. United aren't obviously amazing. But here we go. The music that they have on in the background, by the way, is absolutely fucking terrifying. Why is it so fucking... Right, Sociedad's out first. So, what slot are they going to take? The good thing is Sociedad can't take Group B, and they can't take Group E either, because they're Spanish. There's already Spanish teams in those groups. So the two groups that I want the most are safe from Sociedad here, which is good. Which is really good. Right, speed it up. Come on, boys. Where are they going? I am fucking shitting myself. Right, Sociedad, where are you going? Come on. Take a hard group. Take C. Take G. Can I take C? Take G. Fuck. That was one of the ones I wouldn't have minded, man. Sociedad are into Group D. That's one of the ones that, I was looking at and I was like, you know what? I'd take that. But now, it's gone. Group F is looking at me in the eye, man. Oh, Jesus. Right, who's out next? Is it Celtic? Who is out next? Who is it? Newcastle. Oh, Newcastle! Newcastle are out. Back in the Champions League for the first time since the early 2000s, since I believe Shearer was playing for them. They've got a possible combination of E, F, or H. Take F, please, Newcastle. Please take F. I don't like these, Newcastle. I don't. But take F, please. Leave E if they take E on the return to the Champions League. They took F. Come on, get in. That's a tough one away. I'm happy with that. Get in. PSG, Dortmund, Milan, and Newcastle, by the way. That's 4 massive clubs. Newcastle fans, I wonder what the reaction will be to that, because that's tough. And I'm just so happy that Celtic have avoided that. Now it's just avoid C, avoid G. But good. So we've lost one group that I would have maybe liked, but we've lost one group that I wanted to avoid a hell of a lot. So we're on to something here. Who's next? Galatasaray. Galatasaray next out. It's not Celtic yet. Galatasaray are eligible for every group still left. Take C. Galatasaray, it's all yours. Take C. C for the big C bomb. Not going to drop it yet. Unless Celtic get it. But C is the one that I want to see Galatasaray going into here. They've went into A. That's not too bad. The actual live update side of the screen is ahead of I wish that I could hide it from my line of sight, to be honest. Because I really don't want... Actually, I can do that. I can. Good. Nice. So, Galatasaray have head into Group A with Bayern Munich, Manchester United and Copenhagen. That's good. That's another one of the groups that I didn't really want eliminated from the scenario. We will not be playing Bayern, Man United. Decent. Next out the pots, it is not Celtic, it's Union Berlin who are out next. Who are in the Champions League for the first time in their history. Remember, they have been on a hell of a rise. They are eligible for Groups B and C. Take C. Take C, please. Take C. If they take C, the only group left that I would really want to avoid is the one with City. This has gone decent. If they get C here, please take it. Please. Don't take B for me. Don't take B for me. Just come on, get in there. Nice. Right, it's all coming up Millhouse so far. There is still that one group though with Manchester City, Leipzig, and Red Star. But this has gone well. This has actually gone pretty decent. The two monster ones are gone. Young Boys are the next team drawn. Swiss champions, of course, who are eligible for E, G, and H. Take G. G is the one with Man City. Take it. Take it, please. It's all yours. If they take this, we are on to a fucking run and a half here, by the way. No, I don't mean Celtic. I mean just like this group stage draw in general. I don't think Celtic are going to magically go on a run with 6 wins in the group, but take G. Come on. You know you want to, Young Boys. Please. Yes! Come on! This is nice. This is nice. This is really good. This is really good. Oh my life. I want to see what the chat are saying, but I don't want to spoil anything for myself. So I'm not going to open it yet. But right now, this isn't going too bad. Next out is Lens. Celtic look as though they're going to be, or Lons, I should say. Celtic look as though they're going to end up being the last team out, but they've took B. They took B, which is what. So what's left? E and... Oh. So only 2 teams left with 2 groups remaining. One of them's the one with Feyenoord, and the other one's the one with... who again? Who's next? Celtic. Oh, it's us. It's us, lads. It's us. Celtic. So Barca, Porto, or Shakhtar. Give us E. Give us E. He's still tough, though. Like, both of those groups are tough. Like, I'm not saying any of them are, like, Celtic are suddenly going to go and win the group. But I think I'd take E. I think that's who I'd want. Give us E. Come on. Give us E. Or is it Barcelona again? Yes! Come on! That's it. That'll do the job, boys. Tickety-boo. I love it. That'll do me. That'll do me. Come on, let's go. Fantastic. Dabby dozy. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. In terms of, it might not be the best for European away trips, but listen, we've got the, all due respect to Feyenoord, good lads, good relationship with the Feyenoord mob, right? But you've got the easiest group from pot 1 there. They're the easiest team from pot 1. Lazio, who, much better side than they were years ago, but we've been there, we've done that, we've won the game, away from home and at Celtic Park in recent years. That should give us the confidence. And Atletico, that'll be an interesting one. Obviously not the side that they were when they were making Champions League finals, still a really good side, but listen, I'm not too down with that. I'm not mentally down with it. I'm pretty happy. You know that? I'm pretty happy. That'll do. In terms of getting results anyway, then we could be on to one here. So there we go. Once again, just to run through it, it is on screen for you. We'll open up a full graphic in a moment for people who might be joining late. Thank you to everybody watching. Just to run through it again, the group for Celtic: Feyenoord, Atletico Madrid, Lazio, and us, Celtic. We've got a chance to exact some revenge for that 1970 European Cup final. We've got a chance to spark that wee mini rivalry with Atletico Madrid, who seem to have such a big problem with Celtic, and Lazio, the fascists themselves. God. Wow. I am going to go and try and open up a full graphic of that draw for us so that you can see it in all of its glory. It seems that BT have already, or TNT, sorry, have already got it up. I'm going to see if Celtic have posted. Lads, what we're thinking, I'm seeing a lot of people happy with that draw. I'm seeing a lot of people who are pretty satisfied with the group of teams that we have been drawn with. And to be honest, I'm pretty happy with the group of teams we've been drawn with. Listen, by no means is this isn't a draw in which Celtic are going to go and win and win and win. And I don't expect us to go and finish first or second or even third. I don't put that expectation on us in this group. But what I am saying is from that group, we've got ourselves an opportunity, a possibility to take ourselves to European football beyond Christmas. Now, it's the hope that kills you. You don't want to suddenly get all your hopes up and obviously you're let down with disappointing performances or whatever. But as Patrick has said here, and thank you for the donation, I've got to say, I am really happy with that. I think it could be better, it could be worse, but out of all the groups that were left there was two that I wanted. One was Group B, and one was the group that we were given. I wouldn't have minded the Sevilla, PSV and Arsenal draw, but I must say, I'm not too disappointed. We have got our official graphic, by the way. Let's get it up on screen. Where are you? Give me it. Where are you? Come here. We've got our graphic. We've got it there. There is your full Brendan Rodgers in all of his glory. Champions League group stage draw imagery. What we have been waiting for the last 50 minutes or so. What we've been waiting for all summer. And it's one that, you know what, I fancy our chances. I do. Not to, look, listen, you start talking about, obviously, first and second place. That's far, that's far-fetched. But I want us to compete for third place in this group. I really do. I really want us to compete for third place in this group. If we can be in European football after Christmas, that would be a great success because you've got difficult teams here. You've got the Dutch champions, so you've got to show a hell of a lot of respect for someone who are playing really good football. Arne Slot has done a magnificent job at Feyenoord. A magnificent job, and he deserves all the credit in the world. But it's certainly a side that when you come to talking about squad value, money spent, competition in the league that they play in, this is one of the closest things that we can get to us. Atletico, who I've not even looked at the La Liga table so far this season. How have they started their season? How's the La Liga table looking? Atletico have started pretty well. They've started really well. 10 goals scored, 1 goal conceded. They've won 1-2, drawn 1. So Atletico has started their season pretty decent. Let's have a look at the Serie A table very quickly. Lazio, of course, in a much better place. But Lazio have not started too great. 2 games, 2 losses in that league table for them right now in Serie A. They have not started I don't know who the 2 games have been against. I better have a look at that in case it's been like, I don't know, Inter and bloody, I don't know. Let's have a look. Table. Lazio have lost to Lecce and Genoa so far in the opening 2 weeks of the season. And after in their next 2 games is Napoli and Juventus. So give us them in match day 1. Thanks very much. Thank you. When they're down a bit, that would be nice. They're now starting to hand out the awards for the who cares? I don't care. Celtic, wow. That's nice. That's good. It could be a hell of a lot worse than that. It could be a hell of a lot worse. Nice. Let's get a few opinions. Mark saying we can win the home games. Means 1 away draw and we are home and hosed. Absolutely. More than happy with that. I've seen turn off now. Realise they aren't in it. Let's see. Is Pep's wee brother not as manager? I have no idea. With our new signings and if they hit the ground running, you never know. You never know. We need to sort of act out though. We need to be playing better football. If we can replicate the way that we were playing in that first Champions League group stage with Rodgers back in 16-17, the way we played against Manchester City, you never know, I suppose. Not the worst outcome. Wanted A or B, but E will do, says Alistair. Absolutely. E will more than do. Could have been a lot worse. I feel like that's the overwhelming thought of Celtic fans right now, that it could have been a lot worse. Feel sorry for Newcastle. Yeah, Newcastle have been stuck right in it, haven't they? Stuck right in it. Good draw. Very even group, to be honest. Yeah. I think Atletico will obviously be the favourites to top this group. But yeah, Rome, Rotterdam and Madrid. Brilliant set of cities. Good away trips for the people who will get going. That'll be good. Do I think we can really do something? Listen, we'll decide that over the next few weeks, because the way we've been playing the last couple, no, obviously not. And that's just being honest. But I know we can get better than that. I know that we will be better than that. And I do believe that if we do find that, and Rodgers gets back to his best and the new signings hit the ground running, there's no reason why we can't do something in this group. The aim is ultimately, get a couple of wins and take us somewhere in the next round, There we go. Simeone versus Rodgers. Got to be massive. Yep. He's very animated, Simeone. I'm sure he'll go down well at Celtic Park, I'm pretty sure. When are the fixtures usually out? Now, last year they were out pretty quick. They were out on the Saturday after the draw. But this year there's not as much of a rush because it's not all sped up for the World Cup. So I think next week at some point we'll probably get the fixtures. But yeah. Yeah. Right. I've been live for an hour. And there is your group, ladies and gents. Celtic, Feyenoord, Atletico Madrid and Lazio. We're going to be talking about it for the next few weeks. We'll be analysing each team deep in depth. Stay with me on the channel. We'll be back tomorrow for another live stream. I'll be here live tomorrow from 10 PM till midnight tomorrow. What a tune, by the way. What a tune. Thank you, by the way, for the £2, David. You're too generous nowadays. I'll be back live tomorrow between 10 and midnight, or 10 and 11. Doing the roundup of the transfer window. I'll be back on Saturday doing the preview for the derby game on Sunday, and then on Sunday, of course, we'll be here on the channel to do our match reaction, and then hopefully followed by a late night live as well, doing more of a deep dive and more when the dust settles sort of thing. Then we're on international break, which will be a bit of a struggle, but we've got all of this Champions League to dissect, to go through. Don't worry, there'll be no lack of content. Thank you all for tuning in. You have been absolutely incredible company for me this evening. I'm happy with that. I'm happy. Right, thank you. God bless. Hail